Alrighty guys, welcome back to episode 6 of Chat with Cardy. I'm actually surprised that it's gotten to episode 6, for a series like this where I just talk without a camera on, just in front of a mic by myself for the most part. I didn't really think it'd be, get to episode 6. But what I do feel like is that over time, like when we get to episode 20, 25, I'm going to have to start getting guests on almost weekly, because I don't think I'm going to be able to think of more things to talk about for an hour. But maybe in the footy season that'd be a bit different. We'll see. I mean, there's always stuff relevant in the footy season that I could probably talk about. But finally this should be out on a Thursday, and I think I've improved the mic quality as well, because I noticed in the last couple, or in fact most episodes bar a couple, because the headphones that I currently have, for whatever reason, there are 3 pairs of headphones that are sort of circling around the house at the moment. These are the Apple ones, and every single one of those pairs has something wrong with it. Either none of the 2 earbuds work, one of them works, or one of the other ones works, as my door is just... Oh my god, who's opening my door? Hold up. I'm going to close that. Bloody, it's all windy today, and quickly before I go on something else, before I continue on what I was talking about, my bloody door, ever since I moved into this room, which has now been over a year, if anyone doesn't know, I did move into a new room. I don't really know why. When I really think about it now, it was a little bit redundant. I could have still been happy with my old room, in the same house and all that. In fact, it would have been better off for me personally. But no, apparently my sister wanted a new room for whatever reason, so we moved. I didn't put in any effort because I didn't care for it, so they did it, most of it. And because of that, the door hinge was broken just as we moved. My sister broke the door hinge, so my door doesn't lock. If you wanted to open the door, you could open it. Like literally a rabbit or a dog could open the door, because normally it'd be sort of like locked in position. You got to pull it down to open the door. You could just push the door and it would open from the other side, which is frustrating because my door's open half the time. It's just always open. Like you could literally just touch it with a feather and it open. It's just freaking frustrating. I feel like that's how the door opened just then, because it was quite windy. It's a bit of a weird... I feel like so far this spring, or these last couple months, we either get really crappy cold days that are, wet and all that sort of stuff, like just shit days, or we get hot, windy days. There's no really in between. And to be fair, there haven't been too many hot days so far this spring. It's been a bit weird. You'd expect there to be a few more days that are better in terms of the weather, and because we've been getting a lot of just windy, cold, rainy days. But I don't really mind too much, to be completely honest. But yeah, what was I bloody talking about? I was talking about the microphone, or the headphones. Yeah, for whatever reason, all the headphones that are circling around the house, there's something wrong with them. So it's either one of them, the heads, or what am I saying? One of the jacks is as my door opens again. Stop opening my door. For God's sakes, it's so frustrating. I really don't want to be having to constantly get up every couple minutes to open my door again. I'm going to block it with the other... I've got another chair I'm going to block it with, so this time that won't happen. And now it's impossible for the door to open again, as I've sort of just put a cardboard box at the end of the door, and I've pushed it on with another chair, so I can't see how it can open again from the other side, because it's just frustrating. I don't want my door to be open. I don't think many people want their doors to be open. Like, there are a few things that I do in my room that I sort of don't want the door to be open for. And I guess this is another one, but it's not as bad as a few other things that you could potentially imagine. But anyways, yeah, the headphones are annoying, so I put them in. I tried to listen to the last podcast just to see how it is. I don't really listen to the whole thing because there's no real need. I've already filmed it. But I noticed it was pretty quiet. However, though, I was listening to it outside and it was quite loud. so that's probably why it was a lot more quiet than what it was. But I still had headphones in full volume. I know it was just the one jack, but I've decided that I think the mic in itself is a little bit quiet. So I've turned up the audio gain, which means that this should be a lot more crisp for future videos, and not just for Chat with Cardy, but for all videos. I think I might just keep the mic level at this. I think that should be a lot better for people when wanting to listen to my videos and stuff. You can hear that. It's bloody windy. Like, I was eating soup outside, and the wind blew over my mug, because I don't really know why I was eating it outside. Probably not a great idea to be doing that in these conditions. Yeah, the wind blew the mug, and the soup spilled all over the fucking table. I was pretty pissed off. And then there was a bit of a queue going, you know what, I probably should film this thing, shouldn't I? Because it's, again, another day where I wake up late. I feel like every time I have something, like I don't have anything set in the morning, I don't really pay too much concern in terms of setting an alarm on it. Like, I should be setting an alarm every morning, but after the time I've realised that my phone's not even charged, and it's like down this side of my bed. So I don't know what the time is when I wake up, and it's like, shit, please don't be more than 2 o'clock. Please don't be more than 2 o'clock. And when it is, or if it is, I'm like, well, fucking hell, what have I been doing? Sleeping for no reason. So it's just something I need to take out of myself. I really got to make sure my phone is charged every night, or even if I don't have that, get an alarm. I really think I need to get an alarm. So I could theoretically go to Southland tonight and see if I can get a few things potentially after this. I'm half tempted to do so because it's late night shopping. And also, I read up online I looked on Instagram, and apparently tomorrow there are no caps on anything now. The restrictions are easing once again. I'm a little bit pissed off though. We still have to wear masks in retail. I think, like, when I went to Sydney, and we didn't even have to wear a mask in the fucking airport, let alone the shopping centre or retail. So I don't know why we're still wearing masks now. But I looked at some of the comment sections for some of the posts, and the anti-vaxxers, fucking stupid, I tell you what. But I'm not going to go political or anything like that. There's no real point. But yeah, pretty frustrating. But it's good that the restrictions are easing once again. That means that I think for all sporting events like Ashes, Boxing Day test, full crowd. I'm looking forward to the Bosch's Boxing Day test. I'm going to be going. I'll be vlogging. I'll be using the new camera, and I hope that sort of does all right. Because at this rate, you can't buy views. You really can't. I think they've decreased by almost 300% since peak of footy season. Like, my last video, the style of videos that my last video was under, which was just, reading stats online. That's not the most exciting style of videos, but I don't think it's a bad video, right? That has gotten 1.7k in over a day. Like, if that was out during the footy season, it'd probably get 4 to 5k views. So it's just a bit frustrating. I don't really know what was going to be getting me views. So I might stop that series. I'm going to try something else. I don't know how well the non-AFL videos are going to be doing, but I think this is the time where I just might have to do so. And I'm glad that Cricket 22 is coming out next week. I think next week's going to be a big week on YouTube, like my biggest week since Grand Final week. Honestly, I think the draft and with Cricket 22, the combination of the two might help my channel in terms of growth. It just because views are just fucking shit, and it's a little bit depressing. But let's be real. I think every AFL YouTuber has been complaining about the poor views, and I think I've been probably the one that's probably complained the most. So I probably should stop doing that. But it's still just a bit frustrating, and I still don't mind going over that. Just you go over your YouTube studio, you see that every video is a 10 of 10. It's a little bit demotivating, but I still might get out 1 or 2 more videos throughout this week. And then reacting to old videos, part 4. They always seem to do well. Not a single one of those videos has done poorly. So I think that's definitely a video that I'll do. Probably not next week, because I think next week's quite packed. Might do it the week after. I think that's a good idea. And then draft content. I've never been invested in the draft. Like, compared to people like True Footy, I guess, or just really a lot of other people, I've never really been invested in the draft. I haven't really looked into the talents. I've never really given much of a shit because it's like, oh, well, they'll eventually do alright. Like, as long as, like, I don't give a shit before they become AFL players for whatever reason. I don't really look into their, the prospects, their highlights and all that sort of stuff and what they can become as players. But I think definitely I'm going to try and start taking more of an interest because I think if I make some draft videos, they'll do alright. And that'll be quite enjoyable. They'll give me something to do. And it'll make me a little bit more excited, I guess, for the season to come. Like, I think draft content is probably the last bit of AFL content that you can still get out that's relevant to today. Because after the draft, really, what else is there? Like, you're going to have to hope for a massive scandal to happen sometime in the season. Like, if the Jordan De Goey scandal happened late December, that would be, I guess, music to many footy fans' ears. The new fixture as well, though, I'll definitely make a video on that, actually. I just forgot about the new fixture. But I think draft videos. Not too sure, though, how my subscribers would, how they're going to react to draft videos, if they're going to watch it or not, because I feel like those sort of videos are more analytical and more suited towards an older demographic. And I know I've got a lot of, not too many, but I know a lot of my subscribers are quite young. Do they really want to sit through a 12, 13 minute video of me just talking about the draft? I don't know. I think they'd rather me just fucking shove an AFL ball up my ass. But I know I still have a fairly mature viewer base. I don't know the average. I really don't know what the average age is because it's like I said it on the stream last night. The viewers under the age of 11 stick out like a sore thumb because they just spam and just chat rubbish, and it's really annoying. Like, let's be real. I'd much rather have a chat like True Footies that are civilized and I can have a conversation with, rather than people just spamming garbage and chat for the most part. But it was funny. I saw some like 20-year-old at the pub with a full on beard with a few of his mates. He just was like, "Oh, you're that guy from YouTube." I'm like, fucking hell. I didn't know if he was more of a piss taker, if he genuinely actually watches the other videos, but he knew who I was, which is quite funny. It's probably arguably the weirdest place someone has recognized me. I would say the weirdest place someone has recognized me at. What are other? I don't get recognized too often from places that are outside the footy. Like, I have to say, at least once or twice every footy game that I go to, I get recognised in some form. Whether it's, through someone going up to me and saying, "Hello, how are we?" Someone just saying my name whilst I walk past. Someone waving and saying my name. Someone who I know who knows who I am, because I've had times where I've just been walking, to the MCG or something, and the kid behind me like, "That's that YouTuber. Oh my God, that's that YouTuber." And I was like, unless Caden McDonald was also crossing the same path as me, I think they were referring to me. And I've had a couple times where people have messaged me on Instagram saying, "I saw you at this very location." I'm like, it's not necessarily creepy, but it's like, why wouldn't you just go up to me? I mean, there's no real... I don't understand why people just message you right after. Like, go up. What am I going to do? I'm the least intimidating person I know. Well, no, I'm probably not. But, like, I'm not going to... What do you expect me to do? I know people are probably shy, fair enough. But still, if you see me in public, you can come up to me. But yeah, besides the footy, really, I don't expect to get recognised. But I have been a few times. Like, local footy, actually, that's probably almost as frequent as just the regular footy, to be completely honest. Which makes sense, right? Footy, I make footy videos. You would expect to get recognised at footy. But yeah, besides the footy, and I guess, honestly, probably Southland is the place I've been recognised the most. But I do go there frequently, and I might go there again tonight, honestly. Because what else is there to do? Not a lot. So we'll see what happens. But obviously I've got to finish this, and I want to get that up on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully the Cricket 22 stuff does alright. I'm not expecting it to blow up, and it's going to be a bit weird if for whatever reason it does blow up immensely, and now I have to start making Cricket 22 videos. Because if I start, if I gain a massive following in Cricket 22 content come footy season, it's going to be a little bit weird, or bit of an awkward transition into footy for those people, because then they just not watch my stuff. So does that mean I have to make cricket videos in the footy season? I don't know about that, but yeah, no, it'll still be fun. It'll be a saving grace, because at the moment there are no good video games out there. I mean, I'm sure there are, but like, that I actually currently own. And I'm not a guy that really plays video games that much. Let's be real, I don't play video games as much as a lot of other people say they do. Like, most good games I've probably never even played. So Cricket 22 would be a saving grace for the channel, for just streaming, really, because I can stream that and expect it to do alright. Like, I'll stream it on the day that the game comes out, because I'm going to be getting the game. I pre-ordered it. Actually, when does it come out? Do I stream it on the same day as the draft? Because the draft is on the same day, but it's the second round. Not as many people are going to give too much of a shit about the second round, rather than the first round, which is what I would actually stream. Not too sure though. I haven't made my decision yet on streaming the first round of the draft. But then December comes around, and really, there's no AFL content to make that's actually current. Like, I can't think of anything other than the fixture to really make. So I don't know. Do I just give up? But I don't think that's a good idea. Like, I'm definitely going to continue making videos. Definitely a weekly log every week. I might have to just start making a few cricket videos. Not too many though. Like, maybe a vlog here and there. And then I guess I'll just make different videos, as well as a few AFL videos here and there. Like, I've got a few ideas that I know won't do as well now, but eventually will do alright. Because I've uploaded a few footy videos over summer, which started out shit, right? But when it comes footy season again, it just gets recommended to a bunch of people. And then, lo and behold, the video is on 20k views. I'm like, well, I guess over time, that's a good thing, because I'm getting a shit ton of views for videos that I'm not even uploading at the current moment of time. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, if anything, I hope that happens to some of the videos that I've been uploading in the last few weeks, because they haven't been doing great. But I guess it is expected, isn't it? It's definitely expected, but a little bit frustrating. But anyways, I think that we've covered over that. As I said earlier, I'm very much looking forward to going to some more sporting events, particularly, I guess, the cricket over summer, the BBL, Boxing Day Test. I think that's going to be a full crowd, so that's going to be really good. I don't know if it's going to be the biggest crowd since pre-COVID. I don't think worldwide, but it would be in Australia, biggest crowds pre-COVID. It'd have to be the Boxing Day Test. Or even one of the BBL games. Like, it wouldn't shock me if everyone packs out to a BBL game, if there's like no capacity limits. Because let's be real, if without the capacity limits, I think this time last year, the cap was like 15,000 or 20,000. It was fucking shocking when you really think about it. It was like quite laughable. Well, why is the cap only at 15-20%? And it was the same this year with the MCG and Marble. I'm pretty sure the cap was 25,000. Why won't it just be 50%? Like, why is it that 50% of people can go to Marble, but 50% aren't allowed at MCG? They can only get a maximum of 25,000. Like, I didn't understand that. And the same thing with the Richmond St Kilda game. I actually really wanted to go to that game, but for whatever reason, tickets were sold out, right? And the tickets were being sold at the worst time. It was literally, I think, they were being sold whilst I was out all day. So, okay, fair enough. I miss out. And then the crowd was like 11,000. It's like, fucking hell, I could have easily been at the game. And we won, so a little bit annoying. And what puts the cherry on the cake as well is the fact that my sister actually ended up going to that game, who doesn't care about footy. Her sister, for whatever reason, got corporate boxes to that game, and literally with an hour literally a couple hours until the game started, she got told about it and then decided to go to the game. And it's like, I was almost tempted to go myself, but it's like, it wouldn't be an experience going to Richmond St Kilda. Yes, it would in a corporate box, but not with my sister and her friends. Like, that'd just be very awkward. And it seemed a little bit scummy, like, oh, I'm just fishing my sister just so I can get this corporate box seat. And like, it'd be very awkward to vlog if I wanted to, it's a lot less awkward now vlogging than it was when I started it. Like, I think in 2019 when I started doing the AFL vlogs, and I did a few back then, I shied away from putting the camera in front of myself. Like, I used my phone, but like, I was angling it down so it's not really facing towards myself. It's facing underneath my chin. Because it's a bit awkward, but I don't think it would be as bad now, because I think if I started vlogging games, I'll get a lot, like, more people will know what I'm doing, and more people will probably recognize me when I'm doing so. And so I think, especially with a camera as well, I'm going to have a camera, like a proper vlogging camera at the games. I think it shouldn't be as awkward as it was, or as it has been. Because like last year, for vlogging, I was either using my dad's phone or my camera, but the camera I was using was not an outdoors camera, like not a camera meant for zooming in and filming at footy games, because it was not like the greatest camera, considering it was a little bit big for a vlogging camera. Like, it's obviously used for sit down videos, right? And I still use it to this day, but I don't think I'm going to be taking that camera outside unless it's for a goal kicking challenge or a video where I can put it onto it, like I can put the camera onto a tripod. The vlogging camera, I can just take that anywhere. It fits in my pocket, literally. I can just chuck it in my pocket, and I don't have to put a cap on the lens. It just does it itself. It's handy in that way, and the zoom is insane. So, yeah, that's what I'll be taking to the footy for the vlogs, and the cricket as well. You would think I'd go to the game. You'd think an Ashes Boxing Day Test match day vlog will do alright. We will see, though. We will see, because at this rate, anything, if anything gets views, I'll take. And just as I said that, Ryder Henchy has just put up a video. So, good on Ryder, I guess. I did get him on last. If you haven't watched the chat with Cardy last week, or listened with Ryder, I'll give that a watch, or I'll give that a listen as well. But yeah, currently I've been spending, I would almost say I've been spending more money than I've been earning, because of the low views, I haven't been earning as much. And because we've been out of lockdown, I've been doing more things. I've been obviously going out more, hanging out with mates more, and just buying more stuff, because I can go to shops, right? So I can go to because I just feel like without retail stores being open, I didn't really feel the need to go out of my way and spend money. Like, I feel like during lockdown, the only saving grace that came out of lockdown was the fact that I saved a lot of money. I have to say that I saved a lot of money. If it wasn't for me being lazy and just ordering shit off Menulog or, delivery apps a few times every week, I'd be saving even more money. Because it's not like I wasn't making money because I didn't have it. Like, I was making still money from YouTube. Yes, it was probably not as much as it probably would have been if it was a normal footy season, but like, even in a COVID interrupted period of the season, I was still making close to $2,000 a month. So I was saving a lot of that money. And now, since we're out of lockdown and footy season's finished, I'm not making as much money and I'm spending a lot more money. So it's a little bit tricky in terms of balancing that out. So that's why I've got to stop just impulse buying and just unnecessarily spending money. Just because I've got the money doesn't mean I can just spend it on that, because eventually comes a time where I tap my card to pay for something and my money, there's no more money left on the card because I've spent too much. And it's happened a couple of times and this was like last year, and it'd be at the start of the footy season where I make no money over the summer, and the new footy cards come out, and I think I've got more money than what I really do. So I go to the shops, buy 15 packs of footy cards, and the clerk at the store tells me I don't have enough money on my card. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, tells me the card's declined. I'm like, oh, well, why could that be the case? Then I go to check my bank account and check the statement, and oh, look at that, there's nothing. Oh, well, fuck. That's a little bit embarrassing when that happens. Not too embarrassing, but it's not ideal. So, yeah, luckily luckily that hasn't happened in a while, and it's not going to happen again because I'm going to be checking, and I want to make it so I at least have $1,000 at least on me at all times, just saved, so I can sort of start saving up a little bit more money, because over time, there's going to be stuff that I need to have money for to get. Like, I wouldn't mind getting a car, not anytime soon, because I only just on my L's, but you know what I mean, when I wouldn't mind one. And I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know how next year is going to go in terms of YouTube. I'm expecting it to be a pretty big year. But I guess we'll see. Anyways, what I was saying, I need to avoid spending unnecessary amounts of money on stupid things. Like, I need to start spending money wisely. Not like I already do that, but if let's just say I'm going to get dinner or something, I'm not just going to spend money on something expensive just for the sake of it. Go to a place that I don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't know what I'm saying there. Dinner is one of the worst examples, because I was going to refer to pick something that's on sale, but when you're going for dinner, sales aren't a thing. That's sort of the one, arguably the one place where you really don't find many sales. At a restaurant, I'm more referring to, because I guess if you go to Macca's, they've got all these sales. They've actually got 30 days November sales at the moment, but I'm more referring to when you're out at a fancy restaurant, you don't go there, I guess, to save money, right? You go there to impress a missus or something like that. You go there for a nice night, a nice dinner. So you're not going to find a sale at that. And there's no need. There's no need for them to have sales. But again, I don't know why I'm talking about a fancy restaurant. I'm not going there for fucking dinner, especially not by myself. I guess drinks. If I'm ever going out with mates and I want to get drinks, be a little bit smarter. Pick the ones, choose drinks that are on special, or just pick and choose. Why would I go for a 6-pack of these when I could go for a 10-pack of these and it's the same cost, and you get 5 more standards out of the 10-pack than the 6-pack? Just be a bit more smart. Or if you don't need to drink, don't finish your last 3 cans, save them for next time, so you sort of save on that. And I guess as well, at pub nights, that's why I always go for the half price steak, because I'd rather save a $10, $15 than if I wanted to get something else on the menu. Same with half price anything, really. I don't think I ever go to Woolies, right, and pick, if I'm going to go just for snacks, because you can't go to Woolies and just expect to get a sale out of everything, but for snacks you can. So let's say I want a chocolate bar. I'm not going to go and get the $2 chocolate bars. Okay. Yes, even if I really wanted a Kit Kat so badly and there were $2, I'd go, well, I'll just get a Toblerone for $1 instead. Or you know what I mean? I don't know why I wouldn't just choose for the item on sale. I know it's just snacks, and that's just saving $1. When you think about it, it's not much at all, but I guess it all adds up when you think about it. So yeah, I guess that's that as well. And I guess if I don't need to, don't bring my wallet with me. Let's say I go out with the family and we're going to Southland, and I honestly don't need to spend money on anything. To avoid the temptation, leave my card at home. I literally have done that a few times, and it saved me money. Just leave my credit card at home, or whatever, my debit card at home. No need, because really, over summer, I wouldn't be surprised if, come the end of it, the money that I have in my account is in the single digits. Literally wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah. But But I guess you never know. Like literally next week, I could be talking about how I've just made $1,000 because of the Cricket 22 video that blew up. You know what I mean? Like you just never know when you're doing these YouTube videos. You never know what might blow up, what might not. But you would think it. You know, I just have an average summer. I don't think many AFL YouTubers are going to blow up over summer and find a new demographic, find a new audience, you know, find a cricket loving audience. But maybe they will. Maybe they will. But again, I probably need to save some money or start spending more wisely. I'm not saying that I haven't. I'm just saying that could get to that point. And something that's pissed me off over the last couple of days is that so on Tuesday night, right, I was out and I went to climb a fence or a gate or whatever it was. I think it was in a primary school, right? It was closed. We just jumped the fence and I wanted to climb up the gate to get on top of the cricket nets at the primary school. I went to climb it and I suddenly just got a cramp in my calf and a really sore one. It just made me fall to the ground in sort of pain, I guess, for the next minute or so. And ever since then, my calf is still fucking sore every time Why is that the case? I know for a fact I haven't pulled a muscle or anything. Or at least I hope I haven't. But why is it's just suddenly just gotten painful for no reason? And it's like, ever since I stopped playing sport and ever since I guess school finished, I have not gotten many injuries at all. In fact, I think this has been probably these last 2 years have definitely been the 2 years where I've suffered probably the least amount of injuries I've ever suffered. I'm not even lying. I've been, for the most part, injury-free. But this is, I guess, the first somewhat, you could argue, it's not really an injury though, it's just pain. I don't know what it is, but it will start off as a cramp, but now my calf is just sore. I don't know if it's bruising or not, but it's just been a bit frustrating. Like I was at Southland the other day after my calf was sore, and every time I take a step, I'd feel some pretty bad leg pain. So it's just a little bit frustrating. But I guess that's a good segue into other injuries that I've had over the time. So I haven't really talked about injuries, any of my major injuries, and I haven't had too many major ones. Like most people probably have experienced either a broken bone, a dislocation, or a fracture. I don't think I have. Like my worst injury I've ever had was probably back in 2006 when I was 3, where I cracked open my head. Apparently it was a lot worse than what I could remember it being, because all I could remember from it happening was, I think it happened at Princess Park as well. It was like a training game or whatever. We were there. I was like all excited to be walking up the steps. I decided to walk up. I tripped on one of the steps and I slammed my head on the concrete. And then after they called an ambulance and all that. And this is, I don't remember all the details. Obviously I was 3, but they called an ambulance and all that sort of stuff. I rushed to hospital. I was bleeding out of my head and all that, but I don't remember it being that painful at all. But maybe because I was 3 and maybe because they drugged me or something like that, but still. For the most part, I didn't remember it being all that painful, but it was probably arguably the worst injury I've ever had in terms of seriousness, because I still have a scar because of that. If anyone has seen it on my forehead, which I don't think I've got, it might have been brought up once in a live chat, which I guess is good. I'd rather people not notice it, but if anyone ever has noticed it, then I guess that's the reasoning behind it. But it's you'd have to really look into it to find it. I don't think it's very noticeable at all. But the reason of the scar, I think the reason was because I kept picking the stitches, so I'd have to go back to get new ones and all. I was like I was an idiot. I just didn't really know what they were, and they were just annoying. I could just pick on them because I will confess I still do it occasionally where I pick scabs. I definitely don't do it as much as I used to. For one reason, maybe because I don't get as many scabs. I feel like because we've been locked down, also due to me not playing really sport anymore and the fact that I don't go to school anymore, I have limited not only injuries, but these scars or scabs that I get on my bodies. So that's why I don't pick scabs as often, I guess. But yeah, I used to pick scabs all the time. And then I fucking eat the scabs as well. Yeah, that's definitely something that's not... definitely something that I wouldn't recommend you guys doing, which I doubt any of you guys do. You might have done it in the past, but yeah, I used to bloody pick and eat the scabs, which I can assure you it's not sanitary. I can assure you it's definitely not sanitary. But what was I talking about? Yeah, other injuries. Yeah, as I said, I've cracked my head open a few other times. I remember specifically, this was around the time where I was looking for money. I was looking under a vending machine, and when I went to put my head back up, because my head was parallel to the ground because I was looking at under the vending machine, I jolted my head back up and I smacked my head on the bottom of the fire hydrant of a fire. It's not a hydrant, sorry, a fire extinguisher. And yeah, cracked my head open, but it was like the top of my head, not my forehead. So good. Luckily, there was not a hospital, like a medical centre right at the shopping centre we were at, because we were at a shopping centre. I think it was Brandon Park. So we just went there. So luckily, we didn't have to call any ambos or anything. We just went there. It took like a minute to walk there, which that was, you could argue, lucky. I also remember another time I was playing footy in the house. Like, I don't do this anymore, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. But I'm sure everyone's done this at least once, where they would kick the footy around at home. This is soft footy. I'm sure I've reacted to a video or two where I've been kicking the footy in my house. Pretending to play a footy game, and the hallway into a room, like the doorway. Are the two posts, and if you get it right through the middle, it's a goal. Anyways, I obviously kicked the goal. I walked into my mum's room because that was where the goals were. I went to go grab the ball, and my head hit the corner of her bed, and that's pretty bad because it's the corner, so it's quite a sharp edge. And I think that was probably the worst of the last two that I mentioned. It might have even been the worst of the three. But I remember definitely that one I felt the worst after that. And ever since then, I haven't really cracked my head open. I remember a few times in footy, like I hurt my knee, but I don't remember it all being that serious. Maybe I was just a pussy back then. Like, I don't remember when I went to the physio, him saying it was anything too serious. And I was like, oh, you just do some knee exercise, do some stretches, and you'll be, I don't know, you'd be better quite soon. I think I did what did I do? I think I might have done my shoulder, but again, it wasn't, I strained my hamstring or my quad. I remember I kept straining my quad. Fucking pissed me off. Because it always happened in the footy season for whatever reason. Maybe because I just didn't do any stretching or anything like that. But yeah, I remember it was, every time I'd kick, and it'd be my right quad as well. Every time I'd kick, it would be fucking sore. And I think I remember exactly when it happened. I went to kick a footy in a training drill and it just popped. I heard it pop. So that wasn't great at all. And I remember it happening literally 1 week into joining a new footy club as well. So it's like, oh yeah, we recruit this guy who for one is small and skinny, probably useless, and now even more useless because he's injured in the first week. Congratulations, mate, you fucking idiot. Bloody hell, we might as well just recruit 8-year-olds because they'll be more of a value than what you are at the moment. But I don't remember anything else being too severe in terms of injuries. But I'd get the minor ones where I'd bruise myself badly. I remember I was playing cricket in inter-school sports and I managed to pretty badly bruise my my calf. And it's how do you manage bruising your calf when you're batting? My footwork obviously was not great at all, and I'm not great at cricket because I only ever played club cricket for 3 or 4 years, very, very in the junior days, and I don't know why I just stopped playing it. But I would play it again, but I wouldn't at the same time. It's because it'd probably take up too much of my time. Do I really want to start playing again when I'm not great at all and I'd have to develop myself. Like, I can't just join a cricket club and expect to get into the side. I've got to, improve on my technique and my skills and all that. But look, I'm not going to be playing footy. I'm not going to be playing cricket. But that doesn't go without saying that I'm not just going to never play cricket. Like, here and there I might, have a hit at the nets. Because I enjoy that. It's pretty fun having a hit at the nets. I remember when I was practicing for the T10 game, went to the nets like 2 or 3, I think, few times, but it didn't help how I went with Geordie and Bitter, who were literally worse than me. So I'd get bowled literal shite. Like, I'd get bowled the worst bowls. Maybe 1 in every 4 deliveries were actually at me, but they were pies, and I'd hit them away. And they were pretty slow as well when you think about it. But I mean, it's better than, I guess, nothing. And however fast Geordie was bowling them, which I know they weren't fast at all, but like, considering I'm shit at cricket myself, it probably balances itself out, because I don't think I'd be getting much practice straight away if someone bowling 130 kilometre fast balls at my head was, that I don't think that's going to do much help at all. I'm probably going to get hit. Now, hopefully I have a helmet on, otherwise I might, it might be Philip Hughes 2.0, and it's far from what you want to see, or what I would want happen to me, because I couldn't see that ending well at all. But I don't know how I managed to get myself hit in the calf in a game of cricket. Like, you're wearing pads. How did you manage to get the back of your leg facing the ball that came delivered to you? And I didn't go out that ball. I just got a massive hit, and I'm sure I went out very soon after. I could barely run between wickets, so that's probably how I went out. I was run out or something like that. But yeah, I remember my leg was very sore after that for a few days. Like, it was pretty bad. It was worse definitely than what it currently is now, my calf. And I also remember in footy as well, I got elbowed in the... I got a few... I wouldn't say black eyes, but it would almost be swollen cheeks or swollen eyes. I can't exactly remember what it was, but I remember the day before school camp, I got hit in the face, and my cheeks swelled up massively. Like, it was... it was... I don't know if I've got I would have a picture. Actually, no, I know a mate who has a picture, but I don't have one because it's not saved on my phone. And even if I did, I wouldn't put it up on screen because it's the More Cardman channel. But yeah, it's like sort of like, that's the last thing you want before school camp, for your cheek to be swelled up like a chipmunk. People when they saw will give me a bit of shit, but then eventually, recovered and healed itself, and it wasn't as bad. But at the time, it was not ideal. But yeah, for the most part, I've been quite lucky in terms of injuries. Like, because as I said it before, like, they're just minor ones. Like, I remember if, I scrape my leg or something like that when I fall off a bike. I don't know, I'd jar my fingers when I slam it into a door or something, which is pretty painful. I'd cut myself. They're not that bad when you really think about it. So you could argue that I've been lucky, because I've played footy for a lot of my life. So the fact that I haven't come away with much worse is quite lucky. I haven't been concussed as well, but I probably should have been concussed at least a couple of times. So that's lucky. But yeah, I've just realised it's 18th of November. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the year has gone by, at least over the last few months, quite quickly. Like, it almost seems like yesterday I was just doing nothing. It was still lockdown, but I don't know, it feels like the days have gone by quite quickly. Maybe it's because I haven't really been doing much. Well, actually, no, it would be the opposite. I think when you do more things, it feels like the days go by a lot quicker. Because when you're, doing nothing, in lockdown, you're just in your room for days, day after day, week after week, month on month, doing literally nothing. It just feels like you're there for ages because you're so bored. You're not actually doing anything. Like, it just feels like the days couldn't come over quickly enough. But when you're actually doing things and you have a busy schedule and you're doing a lot with your life, it just sort of feels like the day's over in a heartbeat, or in an instant, which is, yeah, I'm sure that's the same with most people. That's how it feels for them. So that's sort of why the last month has felt like it's gone by a lot quicker than most months this year, especially during the lockdown, when there were times when it was almost strenuous, literally, just having to, not being able to go out, not being able to see people, being forced behind your four walls of your house, and you really couldn't go out at all. Like, there was a kilometre limit. There was pretty sure there was a 5 kilometre limit at one stage. So, yeah, it did feel like the days couldn't go by any sooner or any slower. I don't know, one of the two. But, yeah, it's almost Christmas, I've just realised. Like, it doesn't feel like Christmas is soon, but it sort of is. Like, it's only a month away. And you don't sort of realise it until you go to, like, a shopping centre like Southland and you see the whole store is decorated with Christmas, like, is all covered in Christmas decorations. And you go, fucking hell, well, Christmas is approaching, isn't it? But, I mean, shopping centres do like to over-exaggerate in terms of putting up their Christmas decorations. And they tend to put up Christmas decorations earlier than most. Like, they've already got the Santa and all that. Like, it's mid-November. It's a bit too early to see Santa. I'm not really in the Christmas spirit yet. Wait maybe another 20 days till it's like, December or mid-December. That's when you start getting to the Christmas spirit. But in all reality, I wouldn't start my Christmas shopping until the last week, because it just feels more real. Like, it doesn't feel like you're really doing Christmas shopping in November, does it? Even if the whole of Southland is put up in Christmas decorations, it just doesn't feel proper or genuine. And a lot of the shops as well, when I was there, had Christmas sales already. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just the way it is in retail and shopping centres, but it's a little bit too early. Like, I wouldn't set up my Christmas tree, or we wouldn't set up our Christmas tree till December. And even Nick, I think Nick Valerio had put up a post on Facebook saying something about, too early to put your Christmas decorations up in November. December is the time where you've got to be doing it. So for Nick, I'm doing it for Nick. Yeah, but I guess November's not that bad. But when you're doing it in October, like, I've seen people put up their trees in early October. Like, that is almost 3 months too early, or 3 months before Christmas, before Christmas actually happens. So that's definitely way too early. I'd definitely wait till at least mid-November. I guess you could say when you're a kid, like, Christmas, the whole Christmas in itself is more exciting and joyful, I guess. You're more joyful as a kid on Christmas Day when you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Fucking literally, that's the time where some kids wake up to open their presents. That's the time that I bloody go to bed. Anyway, they're up in the morning. They go downstairs to the tree to see what Santa has brought. I'm sure back then it'd be a lot more exciting, going downstairs to open your presents when you still knew that Santa, you still believed in Santa, as compared to now when you almost 100% know exactly everything you get, because unlike 10 years ago, you could buy really any toy and a kid would be quite content with it, as long as it's a toy and it's something that you would expect your kid to want to play with or would like for Christmas. Just give it to them, wrap it up in wrapping paper and put it on the tree, and they'll be happy, because the element of surprise, not knowing what you're going to get when you open a present, is a lot more it's more fun. It's more fun when you're opening a present, you don't know what you're going to get, as opposed to when you're opening a present, you know exactly what you're going to get, and it's almost like there's no real point in you wrapping this up. It's almost like an obsolete practice in terms of wrapping up that present, because it's like, well, I know what it is. Don't fucking act like you don't know that I know what it is, because I already know that what you've got me is a pair of underpants or a new watch or a new wallet, like, I know exactly what it is. You might as well just put it in a Christmas bag and call it a day. Like, that's what some people do, and I'd probably be more beneficial, because I've never been good at wrapping presents myself, so that's why I don't do that. And even if I did do that, I wouldn't wrap presents up to people who knew what they were getting, but I would do it to like kids, right? Although at the same time, it is Christmas. Like, you want to given your present in the form of a present, like wrapped up in wrapping paper, as opposed to them just giving you your gift. Because it's, yes, you might know exactly what you're going to get, even if you don't. But even if you do know exactly what you're going to get, it embraces the Christmas spirit. I don't know. It feels a lot better when you're unraveling a gift, even if you know exactly what you're receiving, than if you're just giving the gift. Because it doesn't really feel like a Christmas gift if it's just getting given the thing in itself. But yeah, exactly. Like, when I was a kid, it'd be so exciting, like waking up at very, very early hours. I don't know how. Well, I do know how I manage that. In fact, even up until year 7, year 8, I'd wake up very early when I knew all and well exactly what I was going to get, and I knew that Santa wasn't actually real, which I hope everyone listening here knows that. I really hope that people watching these videos all know that Santa isn't actually real. But if I did spoil Santa for someone, I guess I do apologize in advance. But yeah, I was like waking up super early, even year 7, year 8, just to open presents that I knew what I was going to get. But nowadays, I can literally just tell, like, a week before Christmas happens, I literally just go and buy the gift myself. Like, I remember when I got my camera, it was technically a Christmas present, but I used it 3 days before Christmas even was a thing. I bought it with my own money, but my parents just paid for it, right? It was weird, because I almost did the shopping and purchasing and all that myself. It's almost as if I just went out and just bought a camera and just went along with my day, and it felt like that, but it was technically a Christmas present, because my dad just paid me for what it was worth, the camera, which... actually, no, I paid for half of it, he paid for the other half, because, I mean, an excess of $1,000 Christmas present, it's a little bit too much, you would think, so I did pay for a chunk of it, but you compare that to where you're literally going out of your way to buy the present that you know what you're getting yourself, to not knowing what you're getting, the element of surprise when you're up on Christmas morning just opening your gifts. Yeah, it's definitely... Christmas when you're a kid would feel a whole lot more special. When you are a kid and you don't know what you're getting and all that sort of stuff, you still believe in Santa and all that. I remember when I was a kid, couldn't wait for that day. And then I couldn't wait for going to my grandparents' house, because, again, more presents. Because that's all kids give a shit about, the presents. They couldn't give a fuck about spending time with their grandparents. They couldn't give a shit about most other things, but they care about the presents. And again, there'd be a present under the tree. And I don't have a very big family in Australia, to be fair, like an immediate family. I don't have a very big family. So, because of the fact that 3 out of 4 grandparents don't live in Australia, or aren't Australian, I should say, I don't have the biggest family in Australia. Like, let's just say I went to a Christmas gathering in Mexico one year. I'd literally have, apparently, according to my mum, there'd be 80, 90 people there. And I'm like, fuck, if every one of those relatives gave you a present as a kid, because obviously, once you've reached a certain age, you're not going to... I might have thought that as a kid, but I'm sure that's not the reality, where every single person gets given a present from everyone, because I don't think I'm going to be spending money on 80 people, on all 80 members of the family, on a present. So that's why there are things called Kris Kringle, which is even what my family in Australia do. And I hope I'm not in this year's Kris Kringle, because I still want to get more presents, even though it sounds a little bit scummy, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather... Because if I was in the Kris Kringle, that means that of all the relatives in my family, only one would purchase something for me. And I'd actually I'd be expected to buy presents myself. So I'd rather just not have to buy presents for them and wait another year, and then all of them can get something for me. Which sounds scummy, but let's be real. I'm sure I'm not the only one on the same boat. And that there are many others that feel the same way as I do, and would probably do the same thing. But yeah, Christmas is good. Christmas is coming soon, and I didn't realise how close. Well, it's not too, but I didn't realise. I thought it was like 2 months away. Even though I know it's clearly November, it just doesn't feel like it's almost a month away when you think about it. Yeah, like as I said earlier, imagine if I was imagine I was still believing in Santa. I was 6 years old, and I did go to one of those family Christmas events in Mexico. How much shit I'd actually get given. Like, I could just imagine waking up or like just going to the tree and seeing 40 presents stacked high, all with my name on it. But at the same time, I probably would have been given some shit gifts. Like, I think everyone gets given at least 1 or 2 shit Christmas gifts. Probably a year, to be fair. Like, look, I'd much rather know exactly what I'm going to get and be happy and content with it than get given some random shit that I'm never going to use. Like, a lot of times I get Christmas presents where I act all like, oh, this is great. Oh, thanks, Granny. Thanks for this. But in reality, it's like, well, this is just a piece of shit. I'm never going to put this to use at all. It's the same with... I remember when I had a birthday, I invited everyone in my year level, and a lot of people did come, but they didn't know what I like. So I'd get given some stupid shit, like, I couldn't give a fuck about Star Wars. They'd give me these Star Wars figurines. I'm like, I don't fucking want this. So half the stuff I got then was a waste, but like for Christmas, you would think family members would sort of know what you like, especially if they ask you, right? Because usually my grandparents ask my mum, like, oh, what do the kids want for Christmas this year? And for the most part, my grandma does get it right. But I remember once, I think this was for my birthday, not necessarily Christmas. I don't know why I said cricket. I asked my grandma for some footy cards. She didn't know what they were. She didn't know what colour they were. She just went and bought sports cards, but she bought the wrong she bought 25 packs of... The fact she bought that many packs to begin with was surprising enough, but she bought 25 packs of these, like, soccer cards. I'm like, I mean, thanks, but no thanks. What I probably should have done was either just give them back, because I'm pretty sure if the receipt was still there and you haven't opened them, you could just take it back to the shop that you purchased it from, but I don't know why I just opened all 25 packs. I probably should have just... If I didn't need them, because let's be real, I would have much preferred footy cards, but I didn't decide to swap them or even sell them. I decided to just open them on the spot, and I didn't know what I got. I probably could have gotten like a equivalent of a Trophy Star Wild in, I don't know, Ronaldo Star Wild card or whatever, and I just, wouldn't know to this day because they're all in the trash somewhere. But yeah, so for the most part, you ask them what you want, you get what you receive, you know exactly what you're getting given, but you don't really care, right? Like, and it's not all about, obviously it's not just about the presents. Like for me now, that's just some of it, but the whole Christmas spirit, it gets you up and about. But it is a good way of like saying, oh fuck, I really need this bit of equipment. Oh, Christmas is in 2 weeks. I'll just ask for it for Christmas. Saves me money, saves me time. But that's if they actually get the right thing. Because sometimes you ask for a certain thing and they get the completely wrong model of it or something similar to it, but not what you want. But, oh well. What do you expect? What do you expect? And on that note, I might wrap up the chat with Cardy there. I feel like I was sort of pushing it in terms of, just saying random stuff at the end of that because I didn't know half the stuff I was actually talking about for this one. It's a lot easier when you're with another person, I have to say, because if you are sort of stuck on what to say, they can help direct the flow. Here, if I don't know what to say, I literally have a mind blank and I have to look at my phone to see what else I've got written on the notes. But I appreciate all of the support for these. Quite honestly, these arguably do better than my normal videos at this rate. So, if you haven't seen my last video, go check that out. There'll be another one out tomorrow and might be one out on the weekend. Next week is a big week on the channel. And I don't often say that late November, but it will be a big week on the channel. So, keep an eye out for all the content coming out on the next week. Sorry, on Monday we've got weekly vlog. Tuesday we'll have probably a mock draft, I would say. Or when the fuck does Cricket 22 come out? Let me just quickly search that before we wrap things up, because I do want people to be aware. Release date Initial release date says 22nd of October. Well, I know it's... I know it's not on bloody 22nd of October. It's 25th of November. Okay. 25th of November. So that's exactly a week away. So Thursday. Alright, so Monday weekly vlog. Then maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday I give it a... Tuesday I do a mock stream. Wednesday I stream the draft. Thursday I do a Cricket 22 video and a stream. Friday I do a draft overview, and then I think on the weekend I might even do another Cricket 22 stream or something else. I think that's what the plan is for next week, which hopefully is, as I said earlier, my biggest week on YouTube. It doesn't have to be the biggest week on YouTube, just the biggest week since Grand Final week. Because if that's not the case, then I really don't know what's going to do well over the summer. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're Ryder... Well, if you're Ryder who actually does watch them now, apparently he listens to them on a regular basis. That's what he said to me. If you are a Ryder, though, I apologise for there being nothing on the screen. But next week, if I get a guest on, I'll make sure face cams are a thing. I don't know how I'm going to do them, but I'll find a way. Appreciate everyone for listening, and I'll see you soon.